Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about racial discrimination in Malaysia. We are from Group 2. Table of content is introduction, background of research, research objectives, research methodology, findings and discussions, and the last one, conclusion. So, first of all, we should know what is racial discrimination. Racial discrimination is the practice of treating someone differently or poorly because of the color of his or her skin. For example, if you were interviewing two equally qualified candidates for the same job, one black and the other white, and you decided to hire the white person because you prefer to work with white people, you would have engaged in racial discrimination. Background of research. A 2013 analysis of World Values Survey's data by the Washington Post looked at the fraction of people in each country that indicate they would prefer not to have neighbors from a different race. It ranged from below 5% in Australia, New Zealand, and many countries in Americas to 51.4% in Jordan. Europe had wide variation from below 5% in UK, Norway, and Sweden to 22.7% in France. Moreover, Malaysia also ranked the second most racist country in the world based on Racial Discrimination Survey. Research objectives aims to eliminate racial discrimination by showing sympathy and empathy for other cultures and ethnicities that are the targets of it. Do we harbor any racial discrimination towards a certain ethnic group, such as being taught since childhood that individuals with this skin color, skin tone, or ethnicity behave in a specific way? Racial discrimination may be reduced if people were informed and aware of this issue.
Research methodology. How the data was collected and analyzed. The research for this project was carried out via online survey. The goal of this survey was to get a response from people from different backgrounds and ethnicity to share their feeling about modern day racism and share their experience. The survey had 10 MCQs which were related to discrimination about race or skin color. The respondents who were in the age of 19 to 25. Here is the pie chart of firstly what's the gender, what is your race like, what is your age, and the other question are, do you agree that a lot of people believe in racism to be amused or not a major issue? And the rest question were, are you aware of the exists racial discrimination in the current world? Do you genuinely think the mindset taught to stop this response? And do you think many people will tolerate discrimination even though it's prohibited in many nations? Research methodology. Nearly every participant said that this way of thinking had to change because they were aware of racial discrimination. Only about half of the individuals had experienced racial harassment and were required to describe the setting. The majority of the participants had only come into contact with small number of individuals who had experienced prejudice and major of them had acted quickly to stop it. The survey statistics show that racial prejudice is widely practiced today. Despite some effort to remove it, racism is still widely accepted across the world. Finding and discussion. What people think about topic and what could be discussed upon the issue at hand. Respondent 1 is maybe, respondent 2 is Zitong, respondent 3 is Sainzer. Respondent 1, maybe. Maybe talks about how she felt about the racial discrimination the influencer did at A.R. Rahman concert. And here is the link to see the name. Respondent 1, maybe. Racism in Malaysia is still a chronic and pervasive issue. Despite efforts by the government and the numerous groups to confront and oppose it, the three major racial and ethnic groups in Malaysia are Malays, Chinese, and Indians. One of the Malaysia's strengths is frequently highlighted as being its multicultural and multi-ethnic makeup. One recent instance of racial prejudice in Malaysia was at 𝗥𝗰𝗶𝗶 concert. A Malay influencer used a racist slur during a concert in an Instagram story, which shook the public and caused great pain to Indian Malaysians. This is one example of the issue that persists in Malaysia. It is the duty of influencers to use their platform to share uplifting thoughts and advance a more hospitable society. 𝗥𝗰𝗶𝗶 Malaysians should be conscious of the impact of their words, especially when we are talking about delicate issues like race. Malaysia has the capacity to improve for all Malaysians regardless of race, culture, provided by Malaysian bands together and take actions. Talk about racial discrimination schools and other institutes. Respondent to 𝗥𝗰𝗶𝗶. Even in school, racial discrimination is a problem in Malaysia. All students should be able to learn safely in surrounding schools, regardless of their race, ethnicity, or nationality. The truth, however, reveals that someone has experienced racial trauma at this situation. The discrimination in education survey reveals that the ethnic Indian Malay felt more discriminated against in school owing their skin tone and religious beliefs than other ethnic groups. The poll also revealed that 61% of respondents decided not to report their experience of prejudice because they thought it would not affect anything, while 84% of the respondents who told authorities about their impression of discrimination claimed that no inquiry or action was taken. We were aware of that some of the distinctions between people and groups were natural and unavoidable, such as different skin color between black and whites. Respondent to 𝗥𝗰𝗶𝗶. Prejudice is not objective by definition, but different may be. The majority of the people you have pronunciations of black people and think their skin is dirty and disgusting. Do you believe that racism is innate or learned? I believe that it's a concept or learned, and the only thing that causes by genes is difference prejudice, not caused by genes.
Racial discrimination in the workplace. There is the term which refers to Malay people that have a greater advantage in getting a government job. The term is called 𝗥𝗰𝗶𝗶. This, which is very unfair to the people who belong to a different ethnicity, and as Malaysia is a multicultural and multi-ethnic country, but the government sector in Malaysia is dominated by Malays, which is quite unfair to the people from other ethnicities. Also in 2015, Najib Razak, the Deputy Prime Minister, also mentioned and claimed that Malays were treated unfairly by private companies who had their Mandarin language as their job requirements. This was said to be discriminative against the Malay people who were trying to get a job in the private sector. But realistically speaking, Malaysia is a place where Mandarin is getting quite common, as there are some people in Malaysia who only speak the Mandarin language. So this is not discriminating against the Malay, but it is the only way for these private sectors to cope with the societal needs, that is the Mandarin language. Also, the social policy favors Malays and discriminates against the Chinese and Indians, but only when one component, which is related to higher education, exhibits reverse discrimination, and as a result, Malays who do not obtain a higher education required for occupation paying a living wage have a poorer income distribution. And from a logical standpoint, all Malaysian people should get access to higher education, otherwise racial prejudice will only increase the wealth and economic divide between the races. Discrimination, in conclusion, has become a very big problem worldwide, as a lot of countries have a lot of people who are from different cultures, different ethnicities, and different races. This only creates divide in the people, and the people who are facing racial discrimination only get disadvantages in whatever, only have a disadvantage in the field when it comes to getting their needs fulfilled. This could be racial discrimination in the workforce or the work area. This could be discrimination in the housing area, education area, or just if you want to provide for your family. Also, as a lot of the governments of different countries have created laws which prevents people from being racially discriminative, but it's still a problem at large. But as our surveys also shows that there's still racial discrimination in the world going on, even though there are a lot of reports in the world that says the same. Racial discrimination can also be lessened, and equality can be promoted by understanding the effects of all the people as they are equal and same, and they all want to contribute to the society's well-being and to make a country be the best version of itself. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.